Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Torah in 10, your weekly dose of Torah in context in 10 minutes or less. This week we're covering Parasha Behar and Bechukotai, or Leviticus 25:1 to 27:34. I'm Hernan Cortez II. Let's get started. Portion recap. Behar and Bechukotai are about God's absolute justice. Within chapter 25 and 26, it's outlining extremely vital commandments and present the way which we are to treat not only the land, but each other. Righteousness and justice are clearly the major themes within these portions, and it is all structured like a legal document. It's important to keep that particular aspect in mind as well. Which, again, the aspect of a legal document would have been recognizable not just to the children of Israel, but everyone within the same region and within the ancient world as being a completely valid and binding law. Beginning with the instruction of the sabbatical years and the proclamation of the Jubilee, we see God showing true justice and equity to his people through the remission of debts, freeing of servants and slaves, and the fair treatment of the less fortunate. Intermixed with these laws are blessings of abundance and security that we can see in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 18 through 19, reading, "You shall thus observe my statutes and keep my judgments, as to carry them out, that you may live securely on the land. Then the land will yield its produce, so that you can eat your fill and live securely on it." The portion E even then goes on to address a logical concern which any agricultural tribes people or any sort of people who live off of the land would have, which is addressed in Leviticus 25, verse 20 and 22. "But if you say, 'What are we going to eat on the seventh year if we do not sow or gather in our crops?' Then I will so order my blessing for you in the sixth year, that it will bring forth the crop for 3 years. When you are sowing the eighth year, you can still eat old things from the crop, eating the old until the ninth year, when its crops come in." This also mirrors the earlier commandment regarding the gathering of manna that we saw all the way back in Exodus chapter 16, verse 22 to 25. "Now on the sixth day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. When all the leaders of the congregation came and told Moses, then he said to them, 'This is what the Lord meant. Tomorrow is a Sabbath observance, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake and boil what you will boil. All that is left over put aside to be kept until morning.' So they put it aside until morning, as Moses had ordered, and it did not become foul, nor was there any worm in it. Moses said, 'Eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find it in the field.'" As we continue to read through 25, 26, and 27 with the valuation of houses, of property, of people by the priests, and so on and so forth, and from the format in which these laws are written and how they interact with the people in every part of society, God is demonstrating the widely known and accepted traits of a righteous king. The laws regarding the Jubilee, the blessings promised for faithfulness, and even the penalties for disobedience are all elements of a king's coronation and rule over the subjects. Now, I do feel that Moshe Wainfeld really sums this point up in particular extremely well in his book, Social Justice in Ancient Israel and in the Ancient Near East, reading, "God performs righteousness and justice and establishes upright rule in 3 situations, all of which are connected with his coronation as king. Number 1, when he became king over the world at the beginning of the creation, he prepared his throne with justice and righteousness, with kindness and truth and uprightness," seen in Psalms 96:10, 93, Psalms 33, 5 through 6, along with 89, verse 3, chapter 6, chapter 12 through 15 as well. This refers to the imposition of equality, order, and harmony upon the cosmos, and the elimination of the forces of destruction and chaos. Number 2, after the Exodus from Egypt, when he appears as the king of Israel, seen in Exodus 15, verse 18, redeeming his people from the house of bondage, again seen in Exodus chapter 20, verse 2, in giving laws and statutes to his people on Mount Sinai, seen not only in this portion, but also in Deuteronomy 33, verse 4 through 5, Psalms 99, and I believe also 103, verse 6 through 7. And when he appears to save his people from their enemies, as seen in Judges 5:11, 1 Samuel 12:7, and Micah 6:5, we find both social equality and political freedom. And 3, in the period of the universal redemption, God will sit on his throne to judge the world with justice and peoples with uprightness and truth. Again, as seen as Psalms 67:5, 75, 96, 98, verse 7 through 9, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1 through 4, chapter 5:15, chapter 5, verse 15 through 16, and 11, verse 4. Within the events of Behar and Bechukotai, the laws regarding sabbatical years for the land and animals are set, and the proclamation of Jubilee is decreed. Specific instruction is given regarding how to treat fellow countrymen, servants, debts, and debtors during the Jubilee. Blessings for obedience and penalties for disobedience are established for the people, following the pattern of a legally binding document. The portion concludes with the process of valuation, pledges, and the tithing for both produce and livestock. Did you know treaties and covenantal governments of the ancient Near East would often have far more punishments than blessings? The coming of a good king was marked with the freeing of slaves and the clearing of debts in the ancient Near East. Unlike the other inferior deities of the ancient Near East, the children of Israel were not considered slaves. Question time. How many of the penalties of disobedience can be seen in later books of the Bible, such as Jeremiah and Daniel? Which group among the children of Israel received different laws of redemption? In matters of valuation, whose judgment is set and sanctioned by God? Happy studying, and Shabbat Shalom.